Congress in the United States started having hearings on aliens and UFOs. So that's line number 3 that they're preparing for you.
Again with the man of God, Reverend Dr. Chris, and I'm quite sure that we have been hearing, this news flying around concerning aliens and of course UFOs. Watch this.
Morning. So a White House official left this hard drive on my desk overnight. You can see on it, it says AARO files copy 2 of 3. That is the all domain resolution office copy 2 of 3. This is the first big batch of UFO disclosure ordered by President Trump. Some of the clips and videos on there have popped up different places before. Some of them have not. And we have been going through this all morning and overnight to try to put together some of the best videos so we can all look at this together. This is a world exclusive right here. So let's go to the first clip over the skies of the United Arab Emirates in June 2024. An inverted teardrop with a vertically linear trailing mass, as described by the War Department, suspended below. The War Department cannot say for sure what this is. It is officially listed as an unresolved UAP report. The next video, over the skies of Iraq, December 2022, moving bottom left to top right of the field of view. All CENTCOM gets from this is an area of contrast. That's what they describe it as. It is officially still listed as an unresolved UAP report. Next video, over the skies of Greece, October 2023, what is described as a small and circular UAP flying near the surface of the ocean towards land. CENTCOM can't tell us what it is. It is officially listed as an unresolved UAP report. Within the last 2 minutes, all of these videos have gone live on war.gov/UFO, and a White House official tells Fox First, while past administrations sought to discredit or dissuade the American people, President Trump is focused on providing maximum transparency to the public, who can ultimately make up their own minds about the information contained in these files. And there's also a fresh look at some historical records. There's this from Apollo 17 included in this big document dump. One of the astronauts says, we've got a few very bright particles or fragments or something that go drifting by as we maneuver. The control center says, Roger, understood. Another astronaut says, there's a whole bunch of big ones on my window down there, just bright. It looks like the 4th of July out of Ron's window. Another astronaut says, yes, now you can see some of them in shape. They're very jagged, angular fragments that are tumbling. This exchange has long been dismissed as floating insulation. But now the White House is saying, while this photo has been previously released and discussed by keen observers, there is no consensus about the nature of the anomaly. And this all started, of course, because we asked the president about it in February.
Barack Obama said that aliens are real. Have you seen any evidence of non-human visitors to Earth?
Well, he gave classified information. He's not supposed to be doing that.
So aliens are real?
Well, I don't know if they're real or not. I can tell you he gave classified information. He's not supposed to be doing that. Well, he made a big mistake. He took it out of classified information. No, I don't have an opinion on it.
So the government is trying to answer the question, do aliens exist? And the answer is, they don't know, but in an effort of transparency, they are giving us all of the material that they are working with as they try to answer that question.
Alright, my dearest family, there you have it. You've seen that this is actually, a news spreading. And of course, the man of God, Prophet Angel, has actually been prophesying about this, and I've been talking about it for a very long time.
A plethora of videos and speeches made by men and women of God that have been called into private meetings with, of course, a lot of other leaders, but mainly Pentecostal or rather evangelical preachers have actually been summoned by some parts of the American government, telling them to get their congregations ready for an expose, so to speak, of the realities that they are faced with, which of course lines up with issues to do with aliens. Whenever you see something like that, if you're not from this ministry, and if you're not from, of course, other ministries that have come out to address these issues, your faith can be shaken. If you're not a Bible student who actually understands the scriptures, your faith will definitely be shaken. Because the question then is, so where are aliens from? It's no longer a question of are they real? Ladies and gentlemen, I'm here to report, as I've done for years, aliens are real.
Even America, you wake up to,
And that's 2022.
there is this body that they created, and the Lord ministered to me. It was last night. The Lord ministered to me. This body that they created that looks like it wants to give out information about aliens. It's a fake body. It's for them to conceal what is really taking place. I saw the emergence of Nephilims, and people are going to be confused by the visual expressions that have been hidden. There's so many people who come out with real video evidence of things that people have said they do not
that's
understand.
2024.
And people that have actually said those things don't exist will be there saying, I know they exist. It was like a word that was written, alien, alien, alien. And all of a sudden people are coming out and saying, we knew they existed. Wow. Officials coming out and say, we knew they existed.
Vice President J.D. Vance has a theory about aliens and UFOs. Rather than real-life extraterrestrials, he believes they're demons. Let's watch what he recently had to say.
I don't think they're aliens. I think they're demons anyway, but that's a longer discussion.
So you think they're demons?
Well, look, I think that celestial beings who fly around, who do weird things to people, I think that the desire to describe everything celestial, everything as otherworldly, to describe it as aliens, I mean, every great world religion, including Christianity, the one that I believe in, has understood that there are weird things out there, and there are things that are very difficult to explain. And I naturally go, when I hear about sort of extra natural phenomenon, that's where I go to, is the Christian understanding that, you know, there's a lot of good out there, but there's also some evil out there. And I think that one of the devil's great tricks is to convince people he never existed.
I mean, I had someone come and brief me
Praise the Lord.
who was getting nil.
Praise the Lord. If you are a fan of Barack Obama, he came out and said, we have no aircraft shot down. Liar. Because the vice president came out and said, and we'll show you the videos of him saying we have shot down at least 4.
This morning we're going to have a classified briefing on the objects that were shot down over the last weekend. First of all, I don't know why it's classified. I do not believe that any of the information that they've shared or are going to share with us is going to be the kind of thing that has to be kept secret. There's very specific reasons why things are classified, and if this doesn't meet the standard, maybe I'm wrong, we're going to find out. Second is, this is pretty extraordinary, okay? It's not just a curiosity or into weird stuff about UFOs and aliens. For the first time in 65 years, the United States has shot something down over our airspace. Not once, but 4 times. And 3 of those 4 things we have no idea what they are, and people deserve to know what they are. I mean, it's pretty extraordinary. You're launching at least $800,000 missiles off of fighter jets over American airspace. That's a pretty big deal. We need to understand why we did it and what these things are, where they come from, who owns them, who made them, why are they here. And perhaps the explanation is easy, and maybe not. The point is that these are important things that the American people deserve to know, that they deserve to hear directly from the president about. Not a political thing here. Okay, people deserve to know, why are we shooting things down? If it's serious enough to shoot down, it's serious enough for you to know something about it. But this is a topic I've been on for a long time, right? Because this is not new. It may sound new, but it really isn't. We have been seeing objects flying over restricted airspace in the United States for a long time now. No one took it seriously because immediately it was about UFOs and flying saucers and aliens. And that's not my concern. My concern is that some other country has developed a capability to monitor and enter our airspace, and that we are not prepared to identify it because they have figured out a way. You know, we're looking for airplanes, we're looking for missiles, we're not looking for objects that don't fit that criteria. And strategic surprise is the way a lot of wars start, and it's the way a lot of wars and conflicts are lost. So these are important questions that need to be answered. But you deserve to hear directly from the president and from the administration, not from spokespeople, and not with double talk and not with unnecessary secrecy. We'll see how this hearing goes. I don't have high expectations of it.
The vice president of America confirmed it, and Obama said no, and you still think because you're a black president you're going to be told the truth. That tells you the deception. If from the 1950s, 1960s, they were hiding this truth, and now tell you in 2026 that this is the truth we've been hiding for years, and nobody asked them, why were you hiding it? Do you honestly think they landed on the moon because they're your cousin or your father? All this time they said it doesn't exist. Obama said it doesn't exist. Now all of a sudden, yeah, we shut down some.
There you have it, my dearest family. This is actually funny. Of course, I love the fact that Prophet Angel actually addressed this quite well. It was an extended teaching, it didn't end there. But I'd like us to listen to the man of God, Pastor Chris, where he talked about this during one of your local programs. On this is very, very important. That's why the man of God, Pastor Chris, has always been working in the spirit, sharing these things with us. He spoke about it even before he started. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe, tell me what you think about the video.
So, let me explain to you. They want to come from several fronts. So the COVID one is there, and that's because they have decided that's what they're going to do. That's how come the President of the United States, Joe Biden, could go ahead and invest $600 million into COVID tests, test kits. Because as far as he's concerned, it's a finalized deal. So the COVID one is there, and then you have the climate one. And then there is the push for digital ID, which the documentary you just saw was about. And here is one lie they intend to perpetrate. If you listen very carefully to that digital ID, to that documentary on digital ID, you would notice there was an issue about why do we require this ID in the first place? Why do we need to prove that we are humans? Because they have another lie to disseminate to the world. Just a few weeks ago, you would have noticed that the Congress in the United States started having hearings on aliens and UFOs and unidentified flying objects that they said some saw. So they opened up hearings for people to come testify about these unidentified flying objects. So they're telling us that our world is being invaded from outer space by aliens. So this narrative across the world that we really need special identification, because those aliens might just look like us, because they have the capacity to transform themselves and look like us. Because right now, they say that they don't look like us, but they don't know where they went to. So if they don't look like us and they can't find them, maybe they've joined the population. So there's a need for digital identity. They've got to identify you as a real human being, and that's why they're going to get into your DNA, because they got to do it. They got to identify you as a real human, and the only way to do that is get into your DNA. So that's lie number 3 that they're preparing for you. They're preparing that for you. Don't buy it.